Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So, oh man, apologies. It is early. I just woke up not too long ago, and it is right before I have to go to work. However, I get alerts from basically everything that the Play PSO2 channel posts, or Twitter page posts, and there was an interesting one that popped up over on their Twitter page. But before jumping that, if you guys are new here, my name is Chrono. I'm looking for PSO2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribers work our way towards that 10K mark, hopefully. I mean, maybe by my birthday in March. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So there was an interesting post that popped up over on the Play PSO2 Twitter page. I'm gonna bring it up now. Give me one sec. So, and this was posted, 5:40 a.m. For me. So, balance adjustments to preset skills are coming in late January. Plus, we have new weapons and a new rarity of armor in the same update. Please check out the headline on 130 for more details. So there's a few interesting things. So we know that if we check a look at a calendar, we know that the next headline is on the 30th. However, we also know that means that the next update we're going to be seeing is on the 31st. Usually they do maintenance on Wednesdays. So they did mention specifically during the last headline that the next headline, and then we'll be hearing about things that are happening the next day and the next day's update. So it's kind of weird sometimes how the headline matches up with update days. So it's the end of the month, meaning it's going to start the next month, meaning that's kind of when the next big set of patches are coming through. So probably why we didn't see it in this headline, but I believe this is kind of in response to a few things that have been going on. So let's go ahead and pull up the actual article. Apologies for the flashbang. This is very bright early in the morning, so I flashbang myself. We've confirmed the presence or absence of preset skills and item drops. And the differences in effects amongst preset skills have significant impact on gameplay balance. Following a review by the development team, we've determined that it is necessary to make overall balance adjustments to preset skills and to adjust some of the specifications related to preset skills. This issue was not identified in advance. This issue was not identified in advance playtests and checks. This is why I fully believe most games, I don't say require, but should heavily invest in either a player test server, a content creator test server, or just a test server in general for us to look at, because these are things that we've known for a while. Before the release of the other preset skills, it was very common. Termina was one of the strongest as long as you had enough crit rate. Vital being the next up in line if you didn't have enough crit rate, and attack being the weakest when it came to all the weapon fixes. And that was fine. Well, there was only three weapon fixes, but now there's more, and there's some that are kind of insane. Bandak or whatever it's called, whatever. But yeah, there's some pretty strong ones. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. I mean, it is what it is. I still think that no matter how you look at it, no matter how it's play tested, and this is the only insight I've been given because I have friends that have done development for other games, players will always find things that seem extraordinarily obvious to us that devs just never even consider or think about. So this is why this sort of communication, this sort of interaction and partnership is needed. The following balance adjustments will be made in the update, or in updates, or in the update in late January 2024. And literally it's like late January, the last day of January. So basically the start of February. Overall balance adjustments to preset skills. Some preset skills will be made more powerful. This will increase the power, or this increased power will have an outsized impact on the preset skill Fixa Termina, will reduce the power of the Vershmelt series Everbright unit potential accordingly. So if the preset skill Fixa Termina at level 1 is higher, or if the preset skill Fixa Termina at level 1 or higher is affected or is affixed, it'll be adjusted so it's not weakened by the balance adjustment. Hold on. Interesting. It sounds like off the rip, it sounds like Termina is getting buffed. Will reduce the power of Vershmelt series by unit potential accordingly, because the potential of the Vershmelt series is 100% crit chance, and increasing Termina would increase how powerful it is, unless they change. That's just how it's gonna. That makes the most sense to me. But then they say if the preset Fixa Termina at level 1 or higher is affixed, it'll be adjusted so it's not weakened by the balance adjustment. but this doesn't sound like it's going to be weakened. This sounds like it's going to be buffed. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Preset skills awarded through enhanced preset skills. Specifications have been updated so that preset skills previously only attainable through item drops will also be awarded through enhanced preset skills. So they're adding in the other preset skills that you could only get through drops through the enhanced preset skill system. Preset skills released after November 2023 update are also eligible to be awarded at random. So you'll be able to get all the preset skills basically now, because you can only get the first 3 via the enhancement process. And the new support item add preset skill level 1 will be added, which can be used for enhanced preset skills. So this is good. We already knew this was coming because of some changes we saw in the headlines. So it's great to see that this is going to be added in, but we need to see more of these added in, essentially. The add preset skill level 1 item can be used to add a random level 1 preset skill. Oh, wait. Hold on. I totally misread that. I read this as like enhance the chance, but this is like literally just add preset skill level 1. Interesting. The add preset skill level 1 can be used to add a random level 1 preset skill to a weapon or armor with no preset skill, even if you don't have the material items needed to enhance the weapon or armor. This is huge. This is massive. Because for some high-end weapons, that means you're no longer blowing up a weapon at a preset skill. This item will be added as an exchange item for NX cubes at the item recycle. You can exchange up to 3 per week. This is massive. Hold on, this is huge. It means there won't be situations where you have no preset skills on gear anymore. Like everything will have a preset skill. Even if you don't have this is good. I personally am not the biggest fan of the preset skill system because it tends to be, I say widely unbalanced because of how crazy they can vary. But I mean, I didn't expect this to be the thing. Depends on what the percentage chance of them adding them are. If it's low, like, doubling up on weapons to add a preset skill, or if this is going to be the new way to add preset skills to your gear. This is literally building them up from the ground, what we asked for very early on, but we got the other system instead. So fingers crossed this isn't really awful. But you can exchange up to 3 per week. Cool. We appreciate your patience as we work on implementing these updates. In addition, new weapons and a new rarity of armor will be released in an update in late January. We plan to release more details about the above in NGS headline on 1/30. This just gets thrown in at the bottom, by the way. Hey, new weapons, new armor coming out. So how do I feel about this? And I'm going to talk about this in just a second. Overall, this sounds like a good thing. Now, it looks like the dev team was unaware of how some preset skills interact. Now, for me, this reads as Termina isn't strong enough. We're going to buff Termina. But that's how it reads, at the very least. Everything else is just going to be full on speculation, because they don't really talk about it at all. But an issue we found with the preset skill of Bandak is, and for those who don't know how it works, essentially it gives you increased damage up to, I think, like 20 different augment capsules. Basically, it increases your damage based on the different augment capsules you have augmented across your weapons and armor. And I think it's a maximum of 20 different augment capsules that'll affect it up to its max amount of value. It is the strongest preset skill in the game currently. However, the way that it works is a little bit of a problem. It takes the S variant and the LC variant of augments of the same type as different augments. Now, the LC variant isn't a huge deal because it's a weaker version of the same augment, so I find like it's totally fine in my opinion. The S variant of the augment is the exact same power. And a lot of these augments are only rewarded via rewards from AC scratches. Granted, they also have popped on SG scratches. They also are part of SG scratches, but with the stress on the amount of SG that we make currently in game pretty passively easily versus now how much we're spending as opposed to how much we used to spend previously, where it wasn't as big of a deal, it's becoming a much more big problem because of how often you are looked at to spend SG on upgrading your gear. Especially when you're thinking in terms of upgrading your gear versus, buying fashion or whatever it happens to be with your SG. And that's not even counting the fact that some players are also having to keep in mind that they're also trying to keep up with material storage, which is 720 SG every 3 months or 300 every month, which I recommend if you're buying material storage, please buy the 720 every 3 months. Save yourself some SG. But all those things being considered, it is a pretty heavy stress on the amount of SG that we make. And then those augments being added into there just makes them seem even more powerful. So it almost pushes you in a position where you need to spend AC on getting SG to then go ahead and swipe for these augments. which doesn't feel great when the strongest, Fixa is with augments that you need to swipe for. Just not a good look. It doesn't overall feel great. So fingers crossed, this is them fixing the whole S augment versus regular augment situation. The LC augment situation is, in my opinion, perfectly fine. It's attainable in game. It is something that you full on get, and I feel like it's balanced because it's LC. It's lesser power. But the S variant versus the regular variant, I don't believe should work the way that it currently does. I think it adds way too much power to that Fixa specifically, as well as puts too much stress on people needing to invest even more money to get some of the highest gear in the game, some of the strongest gear in the game. Just tune it so it's the strongest Fixa. That's totally fine. And between a 2 to 5% difference over the next strongest, I think is totally reasonable, as it's some of the hardest to set up for your weapon. However, it should not be the way that it currently is. Moving past that, freaking in addition, new weapons and rarity armor will be released in the update in late January. New weapons, we're probably going to see another 10-star. Honestly, we have one. They usually have multiple. Maybe it'll be one that you can build up over time, but I'm totally fine with investing in the flugel that I have and then picking up this new 10-star, because at the very worst, the flugel is going to end up being my PB weapon that I'll slap blastor on or something like that. And then this new weapon, if it is actually stronger as kind of like a day-to-day weapon, then hey, I got my day-to-day weapon. I have my blaster weapon. We're good to go. The issue right now is the rarity of armor. So notice they say new weapons and a new rarity of armor. Weapon was separate. They didn't say a new rarity of weapons, a new rarity of armor. They didn't say a new rarity of weapons and new armor. They said a new rarity of weapons and a new weapons and a new rarity of armor. Meaning we're probably going to finally see the upgrade to our armor. It has been a little while. Does suck though, because Lux Hal Finale just came out, meaning a lot of players just augmented Lux Hal Finale on their gear, and like it just happened. This would have been great to know before Lux Hal Finale released, because now players who are pushing higher end gear are going to be a bit burned by Lux Hal Finale being wasted on their gear. That all being said, this is probably a good time, SEGA, if you're paying attention, this is a good time to look into releasing the possibility of transferring your augments between armor, because at this point it's starting to become a little bit cumbersome to keep up with some of these updates. Yes, we have LC augments. Yes, we have the ability to move things around. Yes, I mean, capsules are, as they always have been, a bit expensive. However, now we're getting into the place where we're augmenting up to 6 augmentation slots. Some of these augments are very expensive. It would be a good time to look into the possibility of maybe an augmentation transfer system with some resources that you have to build up. And I think a lot of players would be very happy about that. I think it also would make it so a lot of players would be rather kept up when it comes to power. And that bit of power creep that happens when new gear comes out won't feel nearly as bad. But that's my thoughts on all of this. It's quite a bit to digest. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I kind of wish we would have seen something like this maybe before the release of Lux Hal Finale. But it is good that they're looking at tuning the preset skill system, because there are some things that are a bit outliers when it comes down to it. Biggest one to me is the Abandak thing, but we'll have to see when it releases. I'll go ahead and cover it, and we'll talk about a lot of the different weapons that it affects when it does come out. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling on as I usually do. Thanks for watching all the end. If you have any questions, feel free to toss it into the comments below. Take care, my friends. Peace out.